Hello, Internet Nation. Alexander here. So I wanted to talk about something that a few people might relate to, I guess. And I feel like my general feelings in regards to my family don't really matter until you really look at like things like this specifically, like what's happening here. Until you look at like that situation and you realize just how much the little things do matter, you know? So today is Thanksgiving. It is Thanksgiving right now, unless this video takes forever to upload. But but every year when you become an adult and then you go out and you live your life, you have the option to do what you want for Thanksgiving. So, I'm a single motherfucker. For the most part. I'm a single motherfucker. So, I don't have a significant other to spend the holidays with. Usually my default, because growing up I spent Thanksgiving with my mom because she was a single parent and she had custody. So, I would spend Thanksgiving with my mom, plus my mom is the best cook I've ever experienced. So, you grow up tasting her food, your nice tender, fall off the bone turkey compared to most other people's dry, bland turkey. And it just makes you sad, So, so yeah, my default after moving out of my mom's house would be to probably go to my mom's house for Thanksgiving. But, there isn't really anybody there anymore, so she doesn't do anything for Thanksgiving anymore. So maybe she'll go to somebody else's house because she has friends that invite her. But usually she's working for the holidays. That's all she does for the holidays is work. So, you guys know I have a weird relationship with my mom. I have secrets, I guess, but not really about my personality because we've just like had so much confrontation that I don't know, like me and my mom, we have talked about my sexuality at least to like some degree. She has some grasp on my sexuality. Maybe not my gender identity, but my sexual preference. She can tell you I like both, even if she doesn't know like the extent of both. I guess you could say she could tell you that I like both rather than all, but both is closer to all compared to my father, who may think that I am straight because I don't really open up about my personality to my family. The only person that would really know is my mom, and that's because she hates my personality, so she like pinpointed things to aim at, and she kind of like assumed a lot of stuff about me. I mean, I guess she knows me as much as she doesn't know me, but as far as family goes, she might know me better than the rest of the family, I guess. Unless they actually pay attention on Facebook and whatnot, but I don't really think so. But anyway, I have the option to go to my grandma's house for Thanksgiving, and I think like once while I was living on my own, I chose to do that. But no, maybe like twice, because I remember one year I went with a boyfriend, and then another year when I was living in a different part of Brooklyn, I'd biked over. But I don't really like going to family gatherings, not even just like specific family, because I grew up in a strictly Christian household, and not like, the fun Jesus loving variation, more like the oppression, and we worship suffering and false idols, and we might be out here worshiping the literal devil. Like, we might be calling God itself the devil and then worshiping the devil. Because, out here worshiping the God that created us and not the God that created God. So, there's a lot of I just realized my aunt has to clear her throat a lot. She may be a phlegmy individual. I'm going to have to talk to her about that. I've never questioned why she clears her throat so much. Right now I'm battling with the overabundance of phlegm in the back of my throat. But, I don't know. She goes through the same thing. It might be a genetic thing. She might also have acid reflux, and I might be accursed to a future of just clearing my throat constantly. But I did just smoke, so there is that. I don't think she smokes. But anyway. So yeah, there's a lot of homophobia in that branch of Christianity, and Christianity in general. And I'm kind of a flaming homosexual who also happens to be transgender. So you can imagine that as a place in which my family will be bashing my people, that would be very uncomfortable for me. I remember I was sitting in the living room with all of them, my dad's family, my dad's stepmom and siblings. And then the Love is Love commercial comes on. That's the commercial where they have the giant x-ray, and then it just shows the skeletons, and then the skeletons are being all lovey, and it's just like, love is love, friendship is friendship, everybody could be friends, anybody could fall in love, it doesn't matter because we're all the same on the inside. And, that was, possibly still is, my favorite commercial. Because, love is love, and it's important that we normalize love, because in the society, especially American culture, especially in the black culture that I was raised in, we have this whole thing where we're taught that abuse is love, and abuse is definitely not love. Like, you can love your child, you can discipline your child without physically abusing them. That's unnecessary, and this community literally argues that that is a necessity, that abusing their child who doesn't understand why they're being hit and is just being traumatized, and they know that the child is being traumatized because they were traumatized, so much so that now they feel that it's their turn to get a few slaps in because they were so angry about being hit as a child. But the cycle goes on. That's why it's called generational karma, because y'all do it. I know somebody needs to hear this. Somebody needs to hear this, and y'all black parents better agree if y'all want to be out here talking about depression don't exist. But depression is not hereditary. It's not. It's just not. I'm tired of people saying that depression is genetic. It's not. The abuse is genetic. Y'all do the same bullshit that your parents did to you that fucked you up. But y'all don't want to acknowledge the fact that it fucked you up, because y'all don't want to, look at yourselves. That's why we have this whole bullshit where fucking obesity is a slur. It's a medical term. But fat people don't want to acknowledge the fact that there is something wrong with them, that they are doing something wrong, to the fact where they are obese. And instead of being like, oh, you know what, instead of being mad at everybody because I can't stop eating. If it's a genetic thing, that's one thing. But that's rarely the people who go ham for this movement. But, instead of just saying, let me fix myself and stop being obese and acknowledge the fact that being obese is not healthy, they go, let me say other people who are losing weight because they want to be healthy are bullying me. Bullshit. That's the society we live in, though. So anyway, I recall having a few problems, if you can even call it that, there have just been times, like I remember this one time I was at my dad's house and me and my sister got into some kind of tiff, and then it ended with me crying, and then I left the room. And then my dad was talking to me, and I was like, how can I explain why I am upset to him? I didn't finish the first story. But anyway, let me finish this one, and then I'll go back to the other one. But I was like thinking, how can I explain why I am upset to him without not getting in trouble? Because the problem was she said something homophobic, and it had upset me. So I'm trying to explain to him that Jackie said something that hurt me because I am bisexual, and what she said hurt me as a bisexual. But I cannot tell my homophobic father that I am bisexual. I'm already used to my mom yelling at me and making it worse and belittling me for having emotions. And now here you have my homophobic father. I mean, my father may not be homophobic. I feel like this has just come from his indoctrination more into the Christian religion that has happened over the course of my lifetime. Because, like, when I was a kid, he wasn't going to church the way he started going to church when him and Vanessa got together. So, like, you know, maybe this could have gone down a different route because he seemed more open-minded and understanding than you would expect from the deacon of a church. So I'm sitting there trying to figure that out and getting more upset because I don't know how to, I want to open up to him, but I can't because I'm not trying to get in trouble for being myself. So I remember the day we're sitting in the living room, and then the Love is Love commercial comes on. And it's my favorite commercial because I fucking love love, and I am an advocate for love and acceptance like a motherfucker, and I just think that love is the fucking answer. Like, if we would just stop hating on each other for existing, then we could just have a happy life and not maybe for a second take ourselves out of the rat race because we realize that love is more important than money, and money is just something that keeps society running, keeps the human society. But human society is a rat race, a trap. Literally, you enter it and you get fucked up mentally because it's so far receded from the rest of the world that you just get thrown into this, system. The universe is chaos. There isn't really a system to chaos. You can find sense of it. You can find patterns in it, but it's chaos. It's not a system. It's not pay $3,000 a month and you get to keep a roof over your head. In the wild, if you build a roof over your head, you don't need to pay for it. You don't need to pay to continue to exist, you know? But anyway, that commercial comes on and everybody just starts laughing and making fun of it and talking about how, wrong homosexuality is. And here I am, a homosexual who loves this commercial, hearing all this shit. And I'm just like, so everybody's always asking me when I'm going to come to visit, but why would I come visit and put myself in this predicament? To which now, for one, I understand that there are 2 adults raising these children here, but that does not mean I'm going to sit here and be like, yeah, you guys, love is wrong. No. Can we not be homophobic for a second? Baby brother, my pride and joy, you are not going to be homophobic. You are going to stop that bullshit right now because of all the people in this room. I am keeping you in my life, and you are not going to be in my life as a homophobe. No, you are not raising my child as a homophobe. No, because then, you know who's not going to be in the family? The flaming homosexual. So, little moments like that, when you're sitting in a room and you're listening to everybody make fun of something that you love very much, basically making fun of you to your face. Then you come down to times like this when everybody's like, when are you going to call us? When are you going to talk to us? How come you never come for the holidays? I don't hate myself. I don't want to subject myself to bullying, even if it's indirect. God knows what would happen if they knew my truth. God knows. Would I even be welcomed in the family at that point? I don't want to get into my views on religion, on God with them. Even that time that I like let my walls down because the whole room was going nuts and decided that I was going to worship in the way that I worshiped and started chanting, I would not allow myself to chant louder than the volume in the room so that I would continue to be drowned out, so that they would not realize that I am worshiping differently than them. You know? And that's not how families should be. Because it's like you don't realize how much the little things add up and how much these things break your family apart until suddenly Ashley's not coming to Thanksgiving. Suddenly you're not seeing your child anymore. Suddenly you're not hearing from them. Which, like, why should you anyway? Because it's like, if my dad doesn't text me on my birthday, why should I text him on his? You know? If I don't get a happy Thanksgiving text, why should I send one? Especially when niggas always changing his number. Like, what am I even supposed to do if you want me to chase you? You know? Like, I am not looking for anyone's approval. I am, in fact, trying to stop looking for approval. You know? Around the age of 19, and we about to go on 10 years of this bullshit. At the age of 19, I realized my mom was never going to be proud, which ironically, she's proud now, but only because we talk. Only because we have two-sided conversations, so now she actually gets to see who I am. Because I said, fuck it, I don't live with you. You can't harass me for living my life the way I live my life because I'm under my own roof. I can say whatever the fuck, and we can just converse. So now she's like, oh, you're so responsible, and you became such an adult. And I'm just like, no, I've always thought this way. I've always been this way. You just wouldn't listen to me. You just had your own idea of who you thought I was and stuck with it and didn't want to listen to me because me talking and explaining who I was and why I'm doing what I'm doing is talking back, and you don't want to hear that. We have to stop doing these things to our family. Because it's like, me and my sister, we had a terrible relationship with our mom growing up. But we want a relationship. Like, a relationship with my mother is possibly one of the most important things. One of those bonds that I would like to hold to the highest of regards. Just because how important the aspect of creation is to me. So, like, the way I view having a child to create a being, a living individual with your body, and then deliver it into life, and then to raise it and watch it grow and to nourish it and just take this spark of life from the universe and bring it into the physical realm, and just, that is one of the most beautiful things that you could do as an individual, to the point where I have subjected myself to years of physical discomfort and semi-daily sexual harassment just to be able to do it. Just to be able to do it. That is the one reason I have a vagina. Other than that, if I can incarnate into the body I wanted, I mean, it was so close to this, but no vagina. And I keep saying that, but I'm like really afraid of losing my vagina, my ability to make babies. But maybe because I want to do it so much, so it's like one of my biggest fears because I'm so used to everything going so wrong. But, you know, that's just a thing to talk about until I no longer fear it. That and cancer. Oof. Guess that was getting something off my chest too. I don't think I've ever said that on my YouTube channel, that I'm afraid of getting cancer. Very afraid. It's one of the biggest things. Possibly uterine cancer, because then that would take away my ability to have babies. I'd be okay with breast cancer. Just lop them off. I don't need those. I just need the milk ducts. Anyway, this was a serious topic. Let's get back to it. But yeah, you don't realize how, like, big these issues are until your family members aren't showing up anymore, or they don't want to talk to you. Because it's like, after some time you have to realize that this isn't loving behavior. You know, like when people have to hide themselves around you and it's just difficult and they feel like they have to be on eggshells and they can't like what? What am I going to do if the day comes and I get a girlfriend and I want to spend Thanksgiving with my family, with my girlfriend? What am I going to do? I can't bring him to my dad's house. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to bring him to my grandma's house and be like, oh, this is my female friend. No, it's my girlfriend. We're going to get married. What am I going to do when I finally have a girlfriend and a boyfriend? I mean, what then, you know? But I mean, on a smaller level, like, I don't know. I don't want to just make this about homophobia, because it's bigger than homophobia, but that is a thing that really affects how I feel. Because, yes, everybody loves and admires me, but they also don't know me, you know? So it's like, how can I feel like they're loving me and admiring me if they don't really know me? Like, are they still going to feel the same way if they knew that I was gay? If they knew that I identified as something other than female? If I, like, the only things that they see is my body. They're not going to, like, know or want to know the significance of any of these tattoos to know the bits of me that they explain. So, what really is there? Because there's more to family than just, like, being related, you know? You should feel welcome. You should feel like you can rely on these people and turn to these people. But at the end of the day, I feel like I don't have anywhere to turn. I feel like I'm not really welcome because of who I am as a person, either, like, whether that be that person being misunderstood or that person just not being welcomed in that environment, you know? It's like, being gay doesn't stop me from loving the Lord or following the word of our mother Mary Magdalene, you know? The one who originally wrote the teachings of Jesus, but was taken out by the patriarchy. God got us from a young age, huh? Before religion was even founded. Not even to mention the patriarchal nature of the Christian religion. I guess the ironic part is a lot of the isolation comes from the Christian religion in itself. Because then outside of that, you have, like, being forced to eat terrible food, which is a form of torture, which, I don't know, people who aren't Christian might not, they might be less for forcing things onto their children, because the Christian religion is all about forcing things, but I can only speak on the Christian religion. I'm pretty sure, like, the Islamic religion is all for forcing things onto women. Women are probably aren't even mentioned. They're probably under the list of possessions. But again, I'm just speaking up my ass because I've never read the Quran, so I don't know. I can only speak about Christianity, you know? But anyway, I just wanted to share that piece before I have to splice these videos together. Acceptance is important, you guys, because, like, I don't know, I think it would suck if I had kids and they just didn't want to come around for Thanksgiving because of they felt like they weren't accepted, or they felt like they couldn't be themselves, or they had to hide or walk on eggshells. That would break my heart. So you shouldn't put yourself through that. You shouldn't put the ones you love through that either. I couldn't imagine making my child feel that way. And I mean, I don't even know if this is a conversation that I could have with any of my parents, because, like, you know, you think what you think, and not everybody's thoughts are malleable. So yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, you guys. Know that you are loved in this holiday season. Also, happy Indigenous People Day, which is tomorrow. Don't forget about the Indigenous people, because we should all strive to be Indigenous and not American. American culture sucks ass. I would like to go back to the roots of America with the spirituality and the respecting the land and not being a capitalist slave and just embracing my soul, you know? Unlike these American values that talk about being a melting pot, but actually we're racist against everybody that's not white. And ironically, the white people are the ones that came here on ships. I mean, granted, a lot of us came here on ships, but I'll tell you what, at least the Mexicans could walk over. That face was ugly. Until next time, you guys, know that you are loved. If not by you or your family this holiday season, know that I love and appreciate you. And I'm here if you ever need to talk or feel accepted, you know? Bye.